Hello, I'm Tammy Elinardo, 137 Church Street, and I'm the president of the Chillicothe Ross League of Women Voters. Last Wednesday, May 20th, the League hosted a town hall meeting entitled Downtown at the Crossroads. The topic of the discussion was the AEP building and the Carlisle House and buildings for use by the City of Chillicothe. I'd like to thank those of you who were able to be with us that evening. In total, we had 90 people in attendance, and since that time, I've received many phone calls from other people who are interested but were unable to attend on that evening. The purpose of the League of Women Voters is to promote political responsibility through informed, active participation of citizens in government. That process was initiated last Wednesday night when the architects of both the AEP building and the Carlisle House and building gave detailed presentations to members of the community. Although many questions were presented and answered that evening, we felt that specific questions regarding the cost of each project were inappropriate at that time, and they were tabled for later discussion. Now that both parties have had the opportunity to complete their proposals, the League of Women Voters would like to offer to host a follow-up meeting where this information could be shared with the public and discussed openly. We are more than willing to move on this quickly. We will secure a neutral venue and hold a meeting within the next 2 weeks, on or before June 10. Over the next few days, we will be contacting the parties involved to see if they would be willing and available to participate. To ensure an apples-to-apples comparison of the different scenarios, the League would format and distribute ahead of time a matrix that compares cost by square footage, financing options available, and other specific topics. We feel that this approach would level the playing field and avoid putting any one party on the spot. We have no desire to demonize any one party. In fact, we would not allow it. This topic has motivated Chillicothians to engage in the political side of civic life. We would be remiss not to offer this additional opportunity for direct democracy. We respectfully ask that you would participate in this upcoming public forum to promote complete transparency in this decision-making process. I'd like to thank each of you, and please know that we appreciate your devoted service to our community. In closing, in light of the fact that the representatives of the Carlisle House and building have been giving a deadline of Friday to present their figures, we would respectfully request that you do not proceed with the first reading of the purchase of the AEP building until all of the information on this topic has been reviewed. Thank you.
Members of council, mayor, and city officials. My name is Bruce Arnold. I live at 25 Yaples Orchard. Once again, council has kind of put the community under the gun, being pressured for a last-minute decision. The mayor entered into a contract to purchase the AEP building October 28th with little or no public knowledge or discussion. While executive meetings are illegal in these proceedings, I find it disturbing that this action has been kept discreet, especially for all these months until the last minute. If the conservation groups and the League of Women Voters had not brought this to light recently, the matter still may be under wraps. Not a good transparency for government when there's so much at stake. Judge Bunch and Street and the previous judges have had the foresight to plan for an upgrade to their court facilities with a per case fee that is dedicated to a building fund. The fund currently has a sizable amount accumulated, and additional revenues will continue to be assessed. They want to update their current facilities due to inadequacy of the conditions that they're in presently. I attended the town hall meeting this last week where plans were presented for both the AEP and the Carlisle building and for the court's upgrades. Both plans were impressive, both had very positive aspects, and both have logistic issues. The layout of the AEP building requires only minor to moderate modifications to facilitate the courts. The building is newer and appears to be in very good shape. It has an efficient geothermal heating and air conditioning system and is architecturally stately in appearance, befitting a courthouse. The Carlisle building's presentation was not as precise, but that was due to the numerous possibilities that could be offered, and the group had a very short time to prepare. The various possibilities also make it difficult to estimate exact costs for reconstruction. I have not been in either building recently, but obviously the AEP building is in better condition and shape than the Carlisle, although I am aware that the Carlisle is a very sound structure. The biggest logistic issue I see at both locations is transportation of the prisoners, and that currently exists even at this location. The Carlisle building also has some parking limitations, but the AEP building is positioned away from the center of town. What disappointed me most at the town hall meeting was absolutely no mention as to the cost for either plan was presented or even discussed until it was brought up, but the urgency to react was made evident. In addition to upgrading the court's facilities, Mayor Salzer has expressed the need to also upgrade the city administration's facilities. In addition to the AEP building for the offices was mentioned, but there goes the parking. Not current parking, but parking with more personnel in the building. And once again, we have another non-accessible building. While the need may exist, I think they are completely separate issues and should be kept that way. The city wants to upgrade their administration facilities. They need to provide a source of money just like the judges. My apologies to the Carlisle owners, but with the information I have, the AEP building seems to be the more ideal solution for the court's relocation. And with recent published cost estimates, the price seems reasonable. However, that does not mean the city should turn its back on the resurrection of the Carlisle building. If the city wants a new administration facility, they should make direct effort to accommodate the Carlisle building in future plans. Some of the city offices could commit to relocate into the Carlisle and Allison buildings, and others could move across the street here into this remodeled old city building. That would allow the demolition of the current city building and the back portion of this building to accommodate additional needed parking. Everything would stay centrally located, and a cornerstone would be started for the Carlisle building. People in the city continue to express concerns for the Carlisle building. Talking with an owner, lucrative investment tax breaks are available for the restoration of this building. To the city officials and to the people of this community as well, now is the time to stop talking and make a firm commitment and monetary investments to restore this beautiful historic building to its dignified elegance. While the AEP building meets the qualifications and affordability, the over-the-barrel, end-of-the-gun rush is not an acceptable approach. Haste makes waste, and I encourage a very open discussion in the next few weeks, which seem to have started this evening, and I hope that additional input could produce a long-range plan that would be suitable for everybody. Thank you.
Anyone else want to address council this evening?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm Janet Griffith. I live at 603 Comanche Road. I was at the Finance Committee meeting here at 6:30, and I heard the mayor speak of the mayor's offices and how dilapidated they were, and sewage coming in several times during the last several years, and roofs leaking and water pipes leaking, and I don't know about this building here, but I'm visualizing going into the AEP building with a one-stop shop, which seems to be talked about, and having 4 buildings empty in downtown Chillicothe. And we already had 2, and we don't seem to be able to do anything with the 2. Now we have 2 more, and those are dilapidated. Now who's going to buy them? There's not going to be a buyer. So then what do we do with all these empty buildings? Another thing, public participation in this. I thought we were going to be able to ask questions during the Finance Committee, because Mr. Schultz has always said that we come to the committee meetings to ask questions. Don't take up council time with a lot of questions. We got no time to ask questions. We have seen no plans. We have seen no figures as public citizen, as private citizens. This is our money being spent when we spend it, whether it's a grant or it's taxes that we pay. Here, it's our money. We deserve to be included in decisions this big. Also, I would like Bruce Arnold said, to see this go slowly, to go 3 reads, and also not to have the emergency language put on the piece of legislation. So if the citizens decide that they do want to contest this and put it on the ballot in November, they have the right to do that. It's called a referendum, and it's the public citizens' choice here to do that. If the emergency language is on it, we can't do that. So that is what I'm asking tonight.